What is travel learning? Travel learning is when you have a destination in mind, someone who you're trying to, let's say they're some type of movement master, they're a strength coach, they're a restaurant, it's a person, place, or thing that you have to travel a significant distance for. But if you do so, you will gain um, a significant amount of knowledge or learning or experience that will just help you just view yourself differently. So the first time I applied this strategy, I hitched a ride with my buddy from Newport, Rhode Island to New Jersey. From New Jersey, my mom let me borrow her car. I drove all the way to Columbus, Ohio in one shot to train with Louis Simmons, who is who's a world-class strength coach. He died a couple years back, but that really changed the trajectory of my training. And I had some time recently. My work closes every January for maintenance, so I had two places in mind that I want to travel to, both with two restaurants that have high quality, that have world class. There's a world class restaurant. One is in Japan, one is in Italy. So I had some time off, and I said, could I swing this trip if I really wanted to? So I searched every travel website, and I just put in, or you could just put in cheap flight to Italy, or you could put a cheap flight to Japan. And I found one to Italy for 525 bucks, something, $530 round trip, which is pretty freaking cheap. And once I got out here, there's an Airbnb for 46 bucks. That means for 3 nights in a row, it's only 150 bucks. And that's not, I'm not rolling in dough by any means, but 46 bucks a night is not bad, especially if you work full time. I mean, that's something that a high school student could save up for. That's something that a college student could save up for. So the gift is not only, even in my mind, let's say this restaurant doesn't, they say, this restaurant, it was on Chef's Table on Netflix. But let's say the restaurant says, Andrew, for whatever reason, we just can't have you stage, or we can't have you watch as we prepare food. Then the gift, it's still all upside, right? Just to enjoy the culture, to try to not be a tourist, but try to become a traveler and live like they do, like the locals do. I think that's the goal. So that's the kind of the plan. That's a plan that you could apply, and something that you could test to just grow your life. Because I think there's a quote that goes, the world the world is a book, and if you don't travel, it's like you only read one page. So if you're thinking about visiting us, checking out a coach, or any person, place, or thing that that you can't stop thinking about, I just encourage you to go. Because I've had multiple trips where everything went to shit, and it was still, it still created memories that I'll never forget. So I just encourage you to travel, and not just for, so that you can say you travel, but just to see yourself differently. You kind of become, you just change, and I think for the better. It's like, I don't think there's anyone who's taken a trip anywhere and came back home and said, man, I regret taking the trip, even if it's out of state, even if it's to a town next door. I mean, it doesn't have to be across the world to really um, understand what it means to look people in the eyes, and be genuine, especially if you're lost, or you don't speak the same language. It does something to your brain to get yourself on a different rhythm and a different tempo that can really grow your life. So if you're considering traveling, I can't recommend it enough.